Hello and welcome to LabGab, a talk show about the virtual world of Second Life. I'm your host, Strawberry Linden. Today on our show, we have lots of exciting guests and plenty of news to share, including a new sneak peek at the latest updates to our mobile app. We'll also be showing off some other cool new Second Life features and tools that will be of strong interest to our creators and community. I'm personally excited to learn a bit more about mirrors, but I know that we'll cover that and much more this hour. Finally, we'll get an update on our efforts to make Second Life even safer and stronger with news of some upcoming policy changes, moderation improvements, and other trust and safety initiatives. We also have some news about our upcoming 21st birthday celebration, so let's get into it. To start things off, I'm joined by a regular guest of LabGab. Welcome back to our Senior VP of Product and Engineering, Grumpity Linden. Hi, Grumpity.
Thanks, Strawberry. Hi, I'm happy to be here again.
I'm happy to have you. So, I have a lot of questions from the community. Let's start things off with one of the top requested topics, mobile. As many in the community know, we are already in a private alpha release for the Second Life official mobile app, which means that Premium Plus members can apply for access right now. Before we get into the latest news and updates, can you summarize how people can get their hands on the mobile app and when the app will be more widely available? This is our top submitted question from the community.
Absolutely, and I love seeing the enthusiasm. I
Absolutely.
know that there's a lot of people who would love to get their hands on the mobile app. We are working to make it available to premium subscribers. In order to do that, though, we have to put it through the App Store and the Play Store. And there's a set of requirements that we just have to address before we can do that. As soon as we get through those, I promise we'll make them available. Right now, we are still only making them available through the testing infrastructure on both on iOS and on Android, and therefore it's very manual process to add people to Test Flight and to the Play Store. So it's taking a while to for like each new person to be added in. This is why we've limited access to Premium Plus subscribers. It's not because we're being mean in any way, I promise. But we are getting a ton of useful feedback, and we want to encourage Premium Plus subscribers to add themselves to the test program when they're able to. And the link is in comments if you're interested in signing up.
That's great news. I will definitely share the link in the comments as well as the description of the video. But I suspect that people also want to hear about the progress on the mobile app. Let's take a look at all the new updates as you walk us through what we can expect with the latest build.
Sure thing. So actually, a new build just dropped this week with additional fixes to the way that avatars show up in world. We're very excited about deformers because that means that all sorts of quadruped furry avatars are now looking correctly. So we've heard from residents who said, I'm not using mobile because my avatar doesn't look right. Let give that another chance. I think that you will be excited to see it. Second Life avatars are really hard, by the way.
For sure.
It's a serious challenge. So to think about what we're doing next, I wanted to give you a little bit of a glimpse into how we decide what to work on. The way we do it is we think about journeys. So the things that you, our residents, may want to do. And the first one really is staying connected. This is the current journey that we're working on. To stay connected, some of the key features have to do with receiving notifications, right? Like, how do you stay connected to your Second Life? You find out when people are talking to you or where things are happening that you want to be a part of. In order to have push notifications working on mobile in a meaningful way, you have to be able to actually go to the conversation when you get notified about it. So you're offline, you get a message about an IM, you click on it, you want to see the conversation that happened. That has implications for how we keep chat logs. And so we think that the work we're doing now to make this happen is actually going to be a huge deal for all of Second Life on mobile and off. So stay tuned for updates about that. The next journey that we're going to be thinking about and working on is going to a club. It's just like, what do you want to do when you're on mobile? You want to go somewhere and listen to some music, for example, right?
Right.
And for that, there's a number of features that we need to work on to support that. It includes obviously getting notifications again, but also includes things like actually dressing up, right? Like you don't just change into a saved outfit. You may want to customize it, put things on, take things off. You want to be able to interact with a dance floor or a chair or something. And we have some work to do in object interaction there. So that's just some of the things we're working on in that journey. There's actually more in there, including being able to tip the performer, etc. And further out, we are thinking about ways to help residents who've lapsed to re-engage with their Second Life community. We often hear from people who aren't logging in anymore because they just don't have a desktop on which they can log in, and they're waiting for mobile to come back. We're going to need to build out a set of things that helps them come back to Second Life. So we'll be thinking through those as well. There's a longer roadmap, but it's a little bit more nebulous, so I'll save it for later. But also, we actually have a whole video to show off some of the progress about the mobile app. So do you want to do that one now?
Let's check it out.
The full release of the Second Life mobile app is so close, and we want you for our alpha testing program. It's been 5 months since we announced our Second Life mobile private alpha, and we've been blown away by the support and participation. As a reminder, the app is available for both Android and iOS, and it aims to bring to you the beauty of Second Life in the palm of your hand. During this time, with help from private alpha participants, we've been able to find and fix important issues, and we continue to make strides with feature development. We made substantial improvements to connection stability, reduced the memory footprint, and also fixed a nasty issue where some avatars weren't appearing at all. Based on feedback reported in our feedback portal and from bug reports directly from the app, we've improved the user experience by decreasing the sensitivity of pinch and camera controls, moved the camera target closer to the center of your avatar, and we're iterating on the size of the area for the V-stick, which is the little control that moves your avatar around. Most recently, we also updated the UI. You can now start a chat from any screen. Friends online, nearby, and groups, and see how many people are nearby on the nearby chat screen. Our latest release of the Second Life mobile alpha now supports streaming audio, although for now the setting defaults to off and you will need to go to developer tools to enable it, but better interface to control audio is coming soon. Next up, we think we're super close to catching the issue which makes avatar shapes on mobile look a bit off. And it turns out super tricky to figure out, so we're actually going to publish a whole blog dedicated to explaining why that's been so hard. We're working on getting avatars with skeleton deformers looking right, getting avatars and moving vehicles synced with the vehicles, and we're also working on improving teleports. The biggest deal, though, we think, will be notifications. You'll finally be able to get a ping on your phone when your friend is messaging you in World, or, if you choose, when your group is blowing up with news of a sale, party, or new events. So much of our roadmap is informed by feedback from our early testers, and we really appreciate their engagement. So please keep filing those reports and providing your feedback at feedback.secondlife.com. And if it's been a while since you've logged in, check it out and let us know how you like the changes. Speaking of early testers, we're still accepting applications to our private alpha program from our Premium Plus subscribers. And yes, we know, we're looking forward to opening up the early tester program to premium subscribers really soon. Look in the video description for how to apply.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting.
Very exciting. So much progress has been made since we last checked in on mobile. We did ask the community to submit lots of questions about mobile, and they did ahead of time for today's lab gab. So I have a few questions about specific features that maybe you can elaborate on. So are you ready for a rapid fire round? Can you comment on the following?
I will do my best.
Okay, here we go. Will there be support for HUDs?
Yes.
Awesome. Ability to create and build on mobile.
That's a longer answer. I think in the long term, there may be some feature that will be built out for creating on mobile, but it will be limited. I think you should assume that for serious creation, you're still going to desktop.
Okay, what about voice?
Yes.
Awesome. Region estate management.
Maybe.
Okay. Mobile specific features like GPS, vibration, and webcam integration.
This is really cool and futuristic, and I love our residents asking questions like this. Maybe. I
Okay.
think this is a little bit further down the line.
Yeah. Support for keyboards and mouse control on tablets.
Definite maybe.
Okay. Finally, the community is asking if mobile access will be free or will they be required to pay for the access?
We currently have no plans to charge for access to mobile. We are thinking of ways to make subscriptions more meaningful for people who are only accessing SL on mobile, for example. So the current set of benefits may not be the most meaningful. We could introduce a package that is specifically tailored for mobile.
Sounds exciting. So
Yeah.
now that we've seen the latest with mobile, I'd like to move on to other new Second Life developments.
Yay. I'm actually very proud of our team with the engineering developments that they've been working on and really moving Second Life forward in a number of ways, specifically with a focus on creator tools and avatars and with really a lot of spirit of innovation. And I think that the team is actually the best people to tell you more about these features themselves.
Yeah, I think these updates coming up will be of interest to our creators and community at large. So let's jump on over to our test region to take a look and see some of these updates for ourselves. And we are back on the beta grid. I'm joined by two Lindens who have been instrumental in helping advance Second Life creator tools and overall feature improvements. Director of Engineering, Signal Linden, and Product Manager, Kyle Linden. Hi, Signal and Kyle.
Hey, Strawberry.
Hi, Strawberry.
It's so nice to have you guys on the show. I know we have a few things to cover, but can I just say, or start by saying that we are currently on the beta grid and this space looks absolutely amazing. And also, I am very excited about mirrors. So, Signal, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're right. This room looks fantastic. I think it was thrown together by Rue, and it, I think the best way to look at mirrors is to actually check it out in person. So let's go over here.
Okay, let's do that.
And run over to a mirror. Yeah. So you're looking at one of the newest features we have here in Second Life, which is high resolution mirrors using 2048 textures. I think that mirrors were kind of thrown around for over a decade as kind of like this feature that we always wanted to build and residents always asked for, but we never got around to working on it until one day someone said, actually, we can't do that. Here they are. Mirrors can be any surface that have a low enough PBR roughness or like a high enough gloss. And so the way you build a mirror is by adding a PBR material that is relatively shiny to an object and then adding a mirror probe to the room. In addition to setting the material, you'll go in and edit the reflection probe, go into its options, and change it from dynamic or static to mirror. Another important aspect is that we only have planar mirrors right now, which means that basically it's limited to flat surfaces, and those surfaces need to be aligned with the orientation of the probe. But the results, as you can see, are pretty awesome. Like, we can take a look at ourselves in that mirror, and this will affect any surface that is reflective enough and is within the mirror volume. So there's going to be one kind of render target active at a time, which means that if you have multiple mirror probes in a space, there'll be one active at a time.
This is honestly really amazing. It looks very sharp, and it's because we took advantage of the 2048 textures.
Yeah, so in addition to mirrors, we're also introducing 2K textures. They have 4 times the area of 1024 textures. There are some pricing details here. For the first time, we're going to be, because those images take up about 4 times the space, we're going to be charging a little bit more for those images to be uploaded. So basic accounts will be able to upload 2048 images for $50 Linden. Premium users can upload them for $40, and Premium Plus users can upload a 2048 texture for the bargain price of $10 Linden. So one thing that people always kind of talk about when we bring up introducing higher resolution images is the potential impact to performance. Some of the engineers that have been working on the PBR materials project have done a lot of work to make sure that we optimize the texture streaming so that we're pulling in just the necessary bitmap level based on the screen space. That should improve performance generally, and means that we can use these larger textures for things like mirrors and textures on terrains, which is another feature that I think we'll be talking about in just a second.
Amazing. So, Kyle, you're going to tell us a little bit about PBR Terrain?
I would love to show you more about PBR Terrain, but we've got to teleport there first.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, thank you for joining me, Strawberry and Signal. Here we are on Rumpus Room 2048 on the beta grid as well. And you can see this large mountain a little to our left in front of us has the new PBR Terrain materials on it. You can see the details are much better. It's 2K support. It has specular and normal, and you could really get in there and see the sunlight bouncing off the surfaces. Now, if we look just a bit to the right across this little river here, that's the old terrain. It's just kind of very, very obvious how new and advanced the textures are on PBR Terrain versus the really old, flat-looking terrain textures.
It looks amazing in comparison, especially the little detail even on the grass.
Yeah, one of the other great things about PBR Terrain is we're going to be doing much more optimized blending between the different heights, and it won't get so stretched out when you're going up a sheer face.
I know our community will be really excited to get their hands on these directly. Can you let us know when and how people can play around with all of these features and tools?
Oh, absolutely. You can play with these features now using our early access project viewer. That is the Materials Featurettes. And you can see that at releasenotes.secondlife.com.
I'll share a link to that in the description of the video.
No problem. And you will have to have, of course, an account on the beta grid to access and check out these new tools and features. If you have not already been to the beta grid, we've got an article that will instruct you how to get an account set up.
Okay, so Kyle, I had a question. When is the wider release planned for all these features?
Coming soon to production grid near you. Yeah, it's very, very close. We are eager to get this in the hands of all residents as soon as possible. I would say weeks, not months.
Well, that gives us hope. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about all these features. You guys are doing fantastic work. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to head back to the studio now to rejoin Grumpity for even more updates. I'm back in the studio with Grumpity and also another guest, our Manager of Support Operations, Keira Linden. Welcome back, Grumpity, and hi, Keira.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hi again.
So today we've looked at some great developments and future features for Second Life, but I also want to put the spotlight on other improvements that we're making to make our virtual world safer for everyone. So first off, Keira, can you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do at Linden Lab?
Absolutely. As you said, I'm the Manager of Support Operations. That's a team of about 30 Lindens, and it includes the billing team, the folks who answer the billing line and help you with all your billing related needs, the concierge team who respond to technical issues and issues relating to private estates, the customer account operations team who manages things like marketplace, fraud, and governance, and our quality assurance and training manager. So I oversee all these teams to make sure they all have what they need, as well as reviewing and recommending changes in the policies that we enforce.
So you've been here quite a while, and I'm sure you've seen all sorts of challenging situations when it comes to governance. Recently, there have been many requests for us to enhance our protections for minors in Second Life. Of course, children in the physical world, but also how and where there is a representation of child-presenting avatars in Second Life. Can you share with us a bit about how Linden Lab is planning to address these concerns?
Sure, but first I wanted to go over the age requirements for Second Life.
Right.
Second Life is generally for adults 18 years and older. Anyone 16 and 17 years old are allowed, but only in G-rated regions. Second Life as a whole is not meant to be experienced by people under the age of 16 and shouldn't normally be on our platform, but there is an exception for students aged 13 to 15 who are restricted to the Second Life region of a sponsoring institution like their school, and they need to go through a special registration process. We're proud of the fact that Second Life is a sophisticated platform to be enjoyed by adults, so of course we don't want minors exposed to any inappropriate content. One thing that we are looking at closely is strengthening our age verification process, something we'll be sharing more about soon. However, I want to address one of the key concerns I hear about from the community, which is how consenting adults engage in role play and avatars that are child presenting. So let me be really clear on this one. We do not and will never allow sexualized age play in Second Life. We do have a policy on this, and it is strictly enforced. In addition, we want to acknowledge and recognize that there are adults who enjoy role-playing as child avatars, and we have no intention of preventing that. There's a healthy and active community of child avatars in Second Life, and we want them to continue to feel welcomed in our virtual world. But child avatars should not be present near or in regions that also have adult-rated activities. We're in the process of strengthening our child avatar policy right now, and you'll see us roll it out soon. But one of the guiding factors of these policy changes is to ensure an even stronger separation between child avatars and adult-rated content and experiences.
Thanks for that clarification, Keira. Are there any other governance or community changes that we can expect?
There are. In fact, we're looking at other updates so that we have better clarity and stronger guidelines on conduct and policies, both within our community and in our organization. Internally, we're finalizing an update to the conduct policy, which addresses a wide range of topics such as how Linden employees interact with the community and policies that address perceptions of conflict of interest or favoritism.
And I also wanted to add that we're working together on a cross-department project to leverage new tools and new technologies to help us with content moderation, both in-world and on the marketplace.
Good to hear. So I also heard we are adding another way for residents to communicate with Linden Lab leadership. Grumpity, can you tell us more about that?
Sure. We're looking for ways to improve how we communicate with the community, always really. One of the things that we're most excited about is an upcoming Community Roundtable with Second Life leadership, and we're planning to launch that in late May. In this roundtable, our executives will be more regularly available to meet directly and in real time with the community. Sort of like we do user groups now, this will be more of a general purpose user group for residents to be able to provide input and talk to us, to the leadership really of Linden directly with their ideas for how to improve Second Life. So there will be obviously more details for how to participate in that. And there's a lot that we're working on to improve Second Life from the inside out.
That's really encouraging to hear. Thank you for sharing these important updates, Grumpity and Keira. So before we go, I have one final announcement. Second Life is turning 21 this year. That's right, 21. That means that we have our annual birthday celebrations coming up quickly. SL21B this year is scheduled to begin on June 21st, and we're excited to share that this year's theme is elements. This theme invites us to explore the fundamental components that make up our vast virtual landscape and the diverse communities within it. From the fiery passion of creators and artists to the fluid adaptability of our social environments, from the social bonds within our communities to the fresh breezes of innovation that propel us forward, Elements is a celebration of the core forces that shape our experiences in Second Life. This year's event will feature hundreds of community exhibitions, live music events, and of course, shopping with exclusive items you won't want to miss. We may even have a few other surprises in store at this year's event, so make sure to mark your calendars to join the celebrations. Keep an eye on our featured news blog for more upcoming announcements about SL21B. Thank you so much to all my guests for taking the time to speak to me today. Thanks to our viewers for watching, and remember to stay safe and stay virtual. Bye, everyone.